Welcome to week 1. What is the environment? So the environment is really the area in which something exists. And so therefore for a child, it would be either their indoor classroom or space, if you're a family childcare, and or the outside area in which has been licensed or is available to a child. The environment should be rich and stimulating with color, texture, medium materials, but you also need to be careful what kind of materials and colors that you put into those. And as the weeks continue, you'll learn a lot more about that. Children need to see themselves so that they have ownership. The more that children see themselves within an environment, the more likely they are to take care of that environment and to feel a part of it. So when you think of an environment, what comes to your mind? Um, I know a lot of you will have different concepts of what that looks like, and you should, right? You're unique just as every child is unique, so therefore your classroom or your space or the environment that you picture or envision will be unique. So think of a space that you loved it as a child. What does it smell like, feel like, and are there any sounds? So think about those and what pulls you back and what's embedded in your memory. So children should have places just like the ones you remember and enjoy when you were a child. A lot of times we feel the need because of different rules and regulations that we almost encase children in a bubble to keep them safe, when in reality, the best thing for them is to let them experience their surroundings and their environment. Each environment should have a place for groupings, and this means all different sorts of groupings. So whether they're large groups or small groups, a child that needs a space by their own, so it's an alcove or a little place set off to the side where they can be alone, table groups to facilitate social learning. You really have to think about what you would feel like if you were stuck in a classroom for 6 to 10 hours with the same group of children week in and week out. And if you were that child, you were a child within that setting. As adults, we have the ability to take breaks, to go on a 10-minute break or a lunch break, or to just step out of the classroom for a minute. Obviously, if we get somebody to step in for us, so we can step out. But we have that ability to say, "Whoa, this is too much. I need a quick step out and breathe. Can somebody take my place for a couple minutes?" Children don't get that luxury. They are stuck. And so a lot of times we have to give them the permission to say, "Hey, you look like you need a little breather. How about you, have some time reading a book, or maybe just play with one friend, or step back for a minute and observe," and teaching them that tool of knowing when it's too much for them. Each environment with a class will have a feel or a characteristic of its own. So what this is really meaning is, like I said before, just as each child is unique, you are unique. Every classroom is going to be unique, and no classroom will have the same feeling year after year. The group of children impact the type of classroom you may have. You may have a setup one year where you think, "Oh, this is great. I'm going to do this year after year. It flowed really well." And then next year with that group of kids, it just doesn't work. And so you need to change some things, maybe have less materials out, and have different materials around the room because it might be a more active bunch, or maybe they're a really quiet and engaged group of children, and so you can put more things out and give them more experiences that way. So it really depends on the type of children you have that will dictate your classroom from year to year. Little additions make a big change. So making small changes in your environment, like removing plastic containers and replacing them with baskets, is so important. Your body, every person's body, not just yours, releases a natural energy. So you have an energy force basically within you. It's how your brain works. And that energy, if not absorbed, um, can escalate to where it feels like there's almost chaos or anxiety. And so having plastic in the room, plastic does not absorb the natural energy in a person or a child's um, body, and so it repels it, and so it just accumulates. There's more and more and more of it. And so typically classrooms that have a lot of plastic in them, the children seem to be a little bit um, more unmanageable. You have more behavior issues. There seems to be a higher um, oh, it's not anxiety, but like stress and activity level. So the more you can get rid of the plastic in your classroom, the calmer you will see children be, because those elements that you can replace them with, like baskets or wooden bowls or things like that, will absorb a lot of that energy. Plants are a good addition as well. Okay. Adding frames to the environment is also a way for helping children see ownership, but also sometimes bringing in that natural element of like wooden frames. A great way to include culture within that is ask parents to bring in like a standard size frame. If you're a teacher that likes uniformity, that's not going to work for you because parents will bring in what how they decorate their house or what their culture is or how they feel. And so your picture frames are going to vary widely in the structure. And so for some teachers, that just doesn't work because they can't handle the mismatch. But it is a great way to bring it in culture. Adding plants, make sure that you have spray bottles and have the children help take care of it. I wouldn't use water cups or anything because your plants will get overwatered, but definitely have the children help care for your plants. And these small changes can also give children a sense of pride in their classroom and again, that ownership. So here's some of the things I just talked about. So wooden frames, baskets, plants. So make sure you check your plants, and you need to label them per per licensing law. So make sure that if you did have a plant of some kind, typically the licensor likes to see the name of the plant, and when I mean my name, it's like what's it called, not what the children call it. I used to have kids that would call the plant Bruce, but I don't know why. I guess the plant needed a name. So that's not the name I'm exactly talking about. And then underneath that, put not poisonous or safe for children underneath, because licensing will want to know that you actually looked that up. Okay, so minimum licensing requirements. So DCYF really believes in quality learning opportunities to help children reach school readiness or to help them succeed in school. And so DCYF is, it stands for the Department of Children, Youth, and Families. And they oversee, it used to be called DEL, so Department of Early Learning, and they have changed to actually a bigger agency. But they oversee like professional development and early achievers and licensing, and so merit, all that kind of stuff. So you can spend some time on their website. It's still kind of under development because they're moving a lot of stuff from what they used to be from Dell over to the DCYF page. So it seems a little cumbersome right now. But there is some good information on there if you need it. And if you have any questions about anything, you can always ask me and I'll see if I can find the answer for you. So your WAC, a lot of people don't know what WAC means, but it's your Washington Administrative Code. So the WAC is minimum licensing requirements. They are rules and laws that are set for minimum licensing requirements. These are minimum, which means you can definitely go above those. So next steps to go above those would be like getting an accreditation from the National Association for the Education of Young Children, or the National Association for Family Child Care. And then also your early achievers rating is a way to go above the minimum licensing requirements. So why are environments important? So they affect our mood, the ability to form relationships, your effectiveness in work and play, your health, and really, environments are important for two specific reasons. Children are in the process of rapid brain development and the more a child uses their synapses and connections, the more that they keep those. So, and then the time they spend in this environment is more than elementary or secondary school put together. So these early learning environments are extremely important. Children are always active learners, so they're trying to understand the world and make sense of what's around them. They will do things that seem frustrating or like they're trying to push your buttons, and really what they're trying to do is make sense of that world around them. So they're not pouring milk out of their cup just for the fun of it to make a mess. They're really having an experience. And so how can you turn that into a teachable moment? They really need to build their own hypothesis to keep them out, to keep them from social interactions and manipulations and their own thought processes. Well-designed environments offer multiple opportunities, firsthand experiences, and so you really want to offer those different experiences to help them grow and learn. Okay. So there's on another PowerPoint, you will notice some pictures, and this will be a weekly thing. So you will take some look at some pictures. You will want to make notes of things you like. So whether or not you like, I don't know, the color of the paint or a specific item or how it feels to you, like if you can try to put that in words. These are not anything that I am tied to. So, if you made a comment about one in a discussion board or something, it's definitely not going to offend me in any way, shape, or form. These are just pictures that I have taken throughout my many years of doing observations and different environmental checks for programs across many states. So don't feel like that you're going to say something that will be wrong. Your opinion matters. And so I want you to look at them, because this is how you're going to get your own idea of what your classroom should look like someday, or currently maybe change to. And so you really want to look at these with a critical eye. What do you like? What do you don't like? What little pieces about it are great? What of them are just not going to work for you? And so I think that's important for you to take some time to look at those pictures and really come up with some conclusions. Okay, so this week, along with the pictures and everything else that's in your content folder, you'll have a discussion board if you didn't do it last week. So this week you kind of give me a gimme. If you did your introduction during week 0, great. Then you kind of get a week off from discussions. If you didn't, I really need you to participate in the introduction board. You'll have a chapter 1 quiz. So from your textbook, you'll have a chapter 1 quiz. The WAC hunt, which will give you some questions that I want you to answer using the Washington Administrative Code, and underneath your content tab above your resources and things, there'll be a link to the WAC, so you don't have to search for it. So make sure you're going up to that area. And then lastly, there'll be some information on your environmental journal. That journal is not due until the end of the quarter, but some people really like to get a jump start on it and work on it. It's something typically students really enjoy. So feel free to look at that. Let me know if you have any questions during the week, and have a great first week.